Renaissance Admiration, the works of Raphael Sanzio. Raphael Sanzio exhibited many religious works, influenced by his father. Some of his most famous works, such as the Mon Crucifixion, the Three Graces, the Knight's Dream, and the Audy Marriage of the Virgin, dated back to the early 1500s, a time period otherwise known as the Renaissance. The Renaissance was a period in the European history, marks the transition from the Middle Ages to modernity. The Renaissance is associated with great social changes and the growth of Catholic churches. The suppression of other religions and the expansion of Catholic churches influenced Catholic-based art and religion. This is well seen in the works of Raphael, who was directly influenced by his uncle, Bartolomeo, a priest and his only parental figure since age 11.
Whereas Raphael's uncle held great influence on the religious artworks he created, Raphael's father had a great deal of influence on his interest in art, being he was an exquisite artist as well. Raphael's father, Giovanni, taught him basic techniques and exposed him to the principles of humanistic philosophy at the Duke of Urbino's court. After the death of his father, Raphael had taken on the extraordinary task of managing his father's workspace. Soon after Raphael's introducement to his father's workshop, Raphael quickly became known as one of the finest artists in town. In 1500, Raphael became the apprentice in Perugina, Italy, for a master painter known as Perugino. After 4 years of apprenticeship and the influence of the Renaissance, Raphael gained a great knowledge and hands-on experience to develop his own unique painting style to become the great Raphael Sanzio we know today.
Many of Raphael's most famous works of art were created between 1500 and 1504, while under his apprenticeship in Padua. However, after his apprenticeship ended, Raphael continued to explore and learn new depths of art. Raphael moved to Florence to closely study the details and intricacy of Italian painters' expressive styles. Raphael carried each lesson taught with him to show the emotions as an artist. Using what he learned in the Urbino court, Raphael expressed his humanistic philosophy in his series of the fresco cycle that he painted under the Pope Julius II patronage. Over the years, Raphael has added an additional fresco cycle for the Vatican, featuring the Expulsion of Heliodorus, the Miracle of Valencia, the Repulse of Adelia from Rome, and the Liberation of St. Peter. In the same time frame, the aspiring painter was producing a successful series of Madonna paintings in his own art studio.
By the year 1514, Raphael had achieved such a great deal of recognition that he was able to hire a crew of workers to assist him in painting frescoes at the Vatican. Raphael's fame allowed him to have more time to create commissions, many pertaining Catholic churches. Some of the commissions included portraits of Pope Julius II and Leo X. After painting the largest work on canvas, the Transfiguration, commissioned on 1517, he became a chief architect hired by the Pope to replace Donato Bramante.
He created designs for a chapel in St. Elgio degli Uffizi, as well as designing Rome's Santa Maria del Popolo's chapel. His work wasn't limited to only religious buildings or paintings. He also expressed his love of art and talent by designing palaces. The works of Donato Bramante heavily influenced Raphael in his architectural designs. He also incorporated the styles of the late Renaissance and the early Bouquet periods.
Raphael died mysteriously on April 6, 1520, which was his 37th birthday. He was working on the Transfiguration, which was commissioned 3 years prior. When he died, his funeral was held at the Vatican, and his unfinished work on the Transfiguration was laid across his coffin stand. He was buried in Rome, Italy.
He was crowned the Prince of Painters by Giorgio Vasari. Many of his pieces are still displayed at the Vatican Palace, where the frescoed Raphael rooms were the central and the largest works of his career. Raphael Sanzio was influenced by the works of Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, Albrecht Dürer, and Malozzo da Forlì. Unlike Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci, who often left their work unfinished, Raphael took care to depict his commissioners and capture their personality. He believed a picture was complete once its main masses were posed like a satisfying relationship, and live color and surfaces had a fluid relationship.